morning, and thank you for joining our Quick Bite. My name is Madeline Holzer. I am the Education Event Specialist here at Zahn, and I'm happy to present to you today our DESS Quick Bite, Define Your Digital Libraries with Simplicity. This morning we have Mr. Daniel Alter. He's a professor of restorative dentistry at City University of New York and executive editor of IDT. We also have Michael Reina, Senior Director of Sales at Zahn Dental. I just want to remind everyone, if you do have a question during this session, please put it in the questions box and we'll be happy to address it as time allows towards the end of our session. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daniel, good morning. To everybody listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm super excited to be here again, joining you. Daniel, always a pleasure just hanging out with you. I mean, these are becoming better and better as we do them, I have to tell you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure with you, Michael, as well. It's just a great energy and you know, I'm excited to offer and show these you know, dental smart solutions to our viewers. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And great job on the past webinars. I know a lot of positive feedback. For those of you who missed it, you could find it online. We had a great panel discussion last week, and we're going to continue these on. So without further ado, again, part of the fun of this is that it's a quick 30 minutes, but that's also part of the anxiety around it. So let's make sure we dive in. We're here for you before and after, and feel free to reach out. So why don't we jump in again? Just a quick recap for those of you who don't know. It is a true privilege to be able to carry the DESS implant solution. We went through at Zahn a number of meetings with different vendors and companies, and we landed on having DESS as the company of choice to work with for our implant component line. And I have to tell you, I say it all the time, it is a privilege and it's a complete honor to be able to work with the team over in Spain. It's a family-owned business, tons and tons of research and development that they put into this product line. And for me, I think the thing that impresses me the most is the seamless fit and finish of these products, backed by an incredible warranty, fitting on multiple platforms. And I think what our viewers will see as they reach out and try this product and test this product, you know, the added benefit of having one solution to go to for your implant components is such a value to your dental laboratory and the practice that you have. Because as you know, Daniel, I mean, these parts and pieces, there's tons of different manufacturers that we know of. So just having a go-to solution, we really pride ourselves at Zahn in having that opportunity to offer that to you and everybody that's out there. Again, it comes with an incredible warranty. We can discuss that. I think we touch on it later on, but you know, just real quickly, you have nothing to worry about. You know, patient first in our minds here at Zahn. We want to make sure that there is no issues with the patients. If for any reason there's an issue, the lifetime warranty on the DESS components itself. And if you have an issue by chance, we all know the success rates of implants is, you know, 97, 98, 99%, depending on the implant manufacturer. You could get reimbursed for that actual implant. So again, something we stand behind and the pride of that as well. So if we could just move on to the next slide. The pure switch concept, I got to tell you, this is probably one of the coolest features of the system, because if I'm a clinician and I'm using the Nobel Trilobe, I don't need an additional screwdriver. It has the exact same footprint of the Nobel BioCare screw, and it really makes it easy for you to be able to go about your day-to-day. The lab doesn't have to worry about offering different parts and toolings. So the pure switch concept is incredible. I will tell you that there is one screw. So the angle screw base, the screw is different, but it's different for a reason, because of the angulation. In order to get that same screw torque, this is what I love about DESS. The money that they've invested in their R&D, they found the better way to do it for us. So, you know, the screw access hole is in a better position. They're still able to offer the beveled screw, and the torque on it is seamless. So again, just some of the features and benefits. I will say it, you know, thank you to all our listeners that are here. Enjoy the next couple of slides that Daniel's going to present on, and feel free to reach out to me or my team at any given point with questions. And thank you again for giving us the opportunity to speak with you today.
Of course, and thank you, Michael. And one of the things, you know, certainly, you know, I'm humbled and privileged to have Michael brought me into this, because I'm really impressed with not only the DESS implant system, but what they've done and how they've innovated in such a great way, meaning that they've taken what we've known as a given or for a branded and made things even better. So although it's a third party, but it makes it a significantly better than what it was. So as Michael said, even the angulated screw is beveled in a way where it allows a tighter connection with a shorter screw that you have a better fit. So everything, when you look at the whole portfolio, which I'll show you in a second how to access that portfolio, you can see so many different ways of where it provides true solutions to some challenges we've had with brand and brand type of implants. Now, interestingly enough, as Michael said, last week we did a webinar with a panel discussion specifically for end users of DESS. Both Josh Murata and Milos, as well as Dr. Berlang, were on the panel discussion. And the things that they shared with us, and you can see it on YouTube, the cases that they shared with us and how utilizing DESS provided opportunities that perhaps with branded solutions they couldn't attain. So it's something that is really incredible and innovative as far as DESS. And also why I'm so proud to present to you here is because Michael Reina, who I absolutely adore, and I think the world of him, because not only do you have a great component in a DESS solution, but you also have Michael and his team to support you, which at the end of the day, the laboratories are supported by Zahn, Michael Reina and his team, as well as clinically. And at the end of the day, the patients are better for it. So not only does it increase your revenue, your bottom line, because the cost savings of this, but it transfers down to the clinician for the solutions that they're able to have, whether it's with a screwdriver or different screws or OEM replacements. But then you have a layer beyond that with Michael and his team, and ultimately the best is attained by the patient, which is what we are all here for, to make sure that the patient really gets the best solution, the best service, the best product, because those patients can very well be our mother or our father or sister or brother or husband or wife or whatever have you. And if they're not ours, they're somebody's, and they certainly deserve the very best. And this is a way of being able to provide the very best to them. The reason why I think it's even more clever and something that is really unique to DESS is because the workflow alternative, whether you're still whether you're in conventional workflow modality where it's an impression, you then go ahead and you pour up a model, then you wax it up, and then you can do zirconia and so on. Or if you do the digital, which I'm going to show you later on as we go through this quick bite, of being able to import in the library, which has so many different platforms and so many different opportunities with it, so that you can go directly to CAD, directly to milling, and directly to delivery, which shortens your workflow and therefore increases your revenue. But what if you're in the middle or kind of a 50-50 between conventional and digital? The nice thing with this Implant Smart solution is that it doesn't dictate what is your workflow. Who dictates it? You. You know what works best in your lab. You know what your dentists or your clients have grown to expect from your lab. So that should never change. The quality should be there. And in fact, with the system, it should enhance it and elevate your ability to be able to provide that same level of quality, if not even better, to your practicing dentists as well as their patients. So whichever modality you're in, whether conventional, digital, or some kind of hybrid, the solutions are all there and available for you. Now, when it comes to digital impression, DESS also has a wide portfolio on the clinical side as well as the laboratory side. So if they have intraoral tie-base as well as desktop for scanning, so intraoral would be, for obviously the clinical setting. Desktop is for a laboratory scanner or a desktop scanner. And they've even come up with something as simple but yet so helpful as if you just have a tie base that you can utilize a scan flag to be able to scan it, whether it's intraorally or rather extraorally. So you can, if you have a dentist that purchased already the the tie bases, whatever have you, you can have this scan flag and incorporate it into your system, and I'll show you how to do so in a little bit. Now, one of the great things, and there's a lot, so I'm going to try to highlight some of the tremendous benefits, and certainly if I was to highlight every single one, it'll take well over half an hour, if not even probably more than a day. Of that's how many different innovations and smart solutions it has. But this I found to be very interesting because they've taken branded OEM parts, implant parts, and they've perfected it. So not only have they perfected it for what they call is the Select Grip, which is a patented solution to DESS, but it allows us to then utilize a smaller chimney, for lack of better words, or a smaller platform. And that gives us not only opportunities for not needing to mask out or not worrying about masking out for any kind of translucency issues with metal, but the bonding has proven to be incredibly well. In fact, 5 times greater than without this selective kind of select grip. So it really saves processing time in the laboratory. It's also factory applied. It's not something that is applied after the fact. It's applied while they manufacture it, and there's a whole several ways that they go about quality controlling and checking it. Another interesting thing, and Michael also shared with this, is the ability of utilizing these screws, but utilizing it in such a way. So as I said, the Select Grip allows you to lower this, for lack of better words, this chimney, but then it also allows you to then help you with the angulation component of your screwdriver. So if you're at 25-degree angulation, if it was just a regular kind of screw, you wouldn't be able to engage it as it is with this angular freedom screws. So it allows up to 360 degrees of freedom positioning. Think about that. Many times we get, in the laboratory, and whether conventional or digital, sometimes and oftentimes we get an impression or a CAD rendering where the implant or the access hole comes out in an area that is either going to compromise the restoration or compromise the aesthetics. How do we address that? How do we go through, with some branded components, you're kind of stuck to where that implant position is, and it's nothing that you can do about it. With DESS, though, they have not only angulated, but they also have, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, the angulated multi-unit abutments as well. So in theory, with these angulated, you can go up to 25 degrees, but as we saw last week in the webinar, that you can really achieve greater than 50 degrees with some of these solutions. So I do encourage everyone to go back into YouTube and certainly see that webinar. It was really jam-packed with a lot of great information. But the screwdriver alone gives you an accessibility and an angulation of 25 degrees or greater in all directions, 360 degrees all around. So if you can imagine, you can pivot or move that access hole by 25 degrees, and you're not limited to where. It's 360 degrees all around, so you can see where it is the most lingualized, where it is the most aesthetic, and you want to make sure that it's where you have enough material there. And although zirconia is very strong, but if you happen to place the access hole in an area between teeth where perhaps there's the embrasure or anything like that, there in and of itself becomes a weakness and it may fail, which is something that we certainly don't want. So these solutions, and particularly the angulated solutions, really provide you with another means or another tool to ensure that the success of the restoration is viable for many years to come. It also provides a gold hue to create a warmer gingival tone, which again is unique to that. So what are the CAD/CAM products and what are the assortments? Certainly, we know that there's both impression post as well as analog, laboratory analog. And DESS actually has not only a great laboratory analog that can be reused and can be 3D printed, but they're working on something that you can, and it's coming very soon, where the lab analogs have a screw on the underside that you can actually retrieve it or secure it into the 3D printed model, which provides you with a great access and ability to really gain that revenue stream that you're looking for. Again, the idea is you have all the components that, as I shared with you, the scan flags, whether it's an intraoral, a desktop, or even on a tie base, which I think is really clever, as well as all the angulated features. My point is that everything that you can get as a branded out there, the major implant components, you can do the same with the DESS solution. And between the Select, where the bondability becomes a lot greater, the angulation ability, as well as the multi-unit opportunities, it really opens up the whole gamut for the laboratory to take control of what their implants are. You're no longer at the whim of where the implant has been placed, which has plagued us for well over 25 years as laboratories, where we had to just figure things out in order to make things better. And sometimes things were easier, and other times they were very challenging. And oftentimes, when we really stretch outside the box, it could potentially create a failure for the restoration. And that's what I enjoy working with DESS and speaking with them, because they really took these issues and examined them and challenged themselves or charged themselves with how do they provide a better solution than what is available right now. And they've done so in a big way. Now, the multi-unit designs, as I said, it affords a multi-unit that has both a 17 and a 30 degree, and you can still utilize the angulation that we spoke about just a second ago. But it's the same prosthetic platform as the popular brands. So if you're utilizing, the popular brands that doctors are accustomed to using, you have those solutions. And in fact, on the Zahn website, which I'll show you in a little bit, you're able to not only download the DME, if it's 3Shape, or for exocad, the material file that provides you with the library. There is a separate library for the multi-units, so you just be aware of that. You would have to download both and incorporate them into your system. So whether you want to use multi-unit or you want to use the regular platforms, and I'll show you that, but it also has a catalog. And what I absolutely love, it shows you exactly what components and what to purchase for those, depending on the implant interface. So you can visually see, sometimes we get cases where we're scratching our heads and saying, what kind of implant system is this? Well, the doctor doesn't know. He inherited this patient, or patient came from a different clinician or overseas, and we're not quite sure what kind of implant there is. And we're looking at it, and yes, we can research, but use this as a resource for yourself to be able to see the platform and recognize which components it is, and therefore you can also purchase those components to fit into that situation through the DESS opportunity. So it's the same prosthetic platform, the screw heads cut, which allows for more material in the abutment. So not only does it allow for a greater access, but it shortens the head cut, and therefore you don't have to extend the framework that much more. The strength is still very much there, and in fact I would argue to say that with the 5 times stronger with bonding, it's even better and stronger than what it was if it was double or not even more, as far as the screw head. Now it's fully shaped to connective geometry, so that's one thing that DESS is really proud about, because they've taken a lot of the the branded and reverse engineered it of sort, where they've taken into tolerances, and really they've not only made sure that the geometries are correct, and they constantly keep quality controlling it to make sure that the mills are properly calibrated and are being able to repeatedly and consistently be able to provide that same geometry. And what I was floored about, which something that certainly gave me some security and knowing that not only do they walk the talk, but they actually so when talking with them, they're actually milling and manufacturing for other branded and OEM products. So if you think about that for a second, if the same company is manufacturing for the branded and OEM, and their understanding of with the engineering of it, it would be safe to say similarly that these products are so high up that it's as good, if not even better, as I said, than the branded component. So it's really something that I encourage every single one of you to really look at. But it's not just the components, but it's also that they took it a step further with the solutions. And that's where it really impressed me, because yes, we can do a third party, and oftentimes we as a society have come accustomed to, when it comes to third party, I mean, look at prescriptions, right? There's branded prescriptions, and then there's generic. The generic is no lesser than the branded, and sometimes it's even greater, and as in this case, than the branded. So because they have the ability of not only manufacturing it in-house, they also have the ability of making sure that the quality control is there, and then innovating and providing the solutions for it. The regulatory aspects, I don't know if Michael, you wanted to speak to this, or I'd be happy to, but
Yeah, I mean, not to bore our listeners, but I do think it's an important spot to stop. When you think about it, they're putting in all the, not only are they offering you a great value for this product, but they're putting in all the behind the scenes efforts to make sure that it's FDA approved and it meets all guidelines throughout. We've done it internally. Obviously, the lawyers at Shine have looked at it very, very well, knowing that we're going to be carrying this product. And one thing that I will tell you is, I mean, they really have taken the time to make sure that this product is up to speed. And Daniel, I think you said it best. I mean, they want to make sure that this product is just as good and sometime add additional features to it. So it really is it's something great to stop on and point out, but feel free to add anything that I missed.
absolutely. And the fact that it's both in CE in Europe and FDA here, as well as in Canada, is a testament of the quality of the material, because the FDA is a regulatory body, obviously, as you know, and having passed that is another stamp by a regulatory body, and a huge regulatory body, certainly the CE, the FDA, as well as Canada, saying that this product is as good, if not even better, in order to be able to qualify, so that it is something that is for long term and can be for patients for a very long time. So that gives it another sense of assurance that the FDA has approved it, and that's a huge thing that you can also share with your clinician, that it is completely FDA compliant in every way. Now, the warranty is rather impressive as well. So, and I'd be happy to speak to it, unless Michael, you'd like to.
We touched on it before. Daniel, I have to tell you, I mean, everybody that's listening, whether you're running a 2-man operation or you have a 50-person operation, I mean, the last thing you want to deal with is a call from a doctor who has an issue where the patient is upset, right? And Daniel, you hit the nail right on the head earlier. We pride ourselves in patient first at Zahn. We want to make sure that every product we're privileged to bring in and distribute has the qualifications and the credentials to make sure that your clients, the dentists, their clients, the patient, right, the end game, there's no issues whatsoever. And they couldn't get any clearer than this. There is nothing that you need to worry about when it comes to the warranty. We 100% stand behind it, and literally down to the cost of the implant. I know some people, when it comes to, if an implant fails, they'll replace it with an implant of their own. So there's been a lot of this going on in the industry for years, and I really think that in conjunction DESS and Zahn, I think we really nailed it, so that you don't have anything to worry about.
Absolutely. And that's something that's always been a concern. And oftentimes branded manufacturers said, well, if you use a third party, then you waive your warranty. And that's further from the truth. And even if that was to happen, knowing that not only does DESS stand behind the product, but Henry Schein and Zahn stands behind the product, gives you a lifetime on old DESS components and a replacement warranty should anything go wrong with the actual implant fixture. I mean, that's huge. And that, again, allows you as a laboratory to rest assured, knowing that, again, Henry Schein, Zahn, as well as DESS have your back. You can rely on them, even if, and which it's not going to happen, but even if something should happen, you're not left out. You certainly have the warranty and the guarantee from both DESS and Henry Schein. So that's a huge factor. So this is where, and thank you for that, Michael. This is also, so the catalog is all placed, and I'll share with you in a link in a second, but there's on the Zahn website, there is a, when you go into digital material, there's a tab for DESS, which I'll show you in a second, but this is where it has like the very clever platforms that you can actually look. And I apologize that it is so small. I'll show you a little bit of a bigger picture in a second, but you can look down into the implant interface, and you can see what kind of implants they are. So if you're visually seeing something like this, it's a Nobel replace. If you're seeing any of the others, that, and then it gives you which kind of DESS component and which kind of branded component it may be and how to best order it. Then it also provides you with the assortment of what it is that you may need, that you may or may not have thought about it. Do you need screws? Does the clinician need screws? Does the laboratory need screws? Do you need lab analogs? What kind of tie bases? What kind of heights do you need? And so do you need angulations? Do you need a multi-unit? All the way through. And this is for digital, but what if you were to do conventional? If you wanted to cast chrome cobalt on top of it or gold on top of it, you even have that option. So the catalog, which is in the digital form, is on the website, but it really, I see it as a resource for laboratories to be able to see what is available and how do you restore that implant solution. The last thing you want, and the last thing any of us, want, is during a busy workday to get an implant or to get a case rather, where you don't know what kind of implant or what kind of system it is, and now you're spending half the day trying to figure out what it is. Where through this catalog or the website, whichever way you want to look at it, you can quickly visually identify what it is, and then also be able to buy those components in order to restore them. I also have to say, again, I mean, Michael knows a tremendous amount of implants from his history, and I've known Michael for many, many years. It's him and his team, the support that they can provide is also great. So use that as another leverage or another opportunity within your your laboratory. Consider that. And here's a little bit of a larger picture of the same thing, where you have an active hex, where Nobel active or Nobel replace. These are the implant fixtures that you can look down, and whether it's a conic, and then it provides you with, again, the implant phase for the clinical portion, as well as healing caps, which again, third parties typically don't engage so deeply into the clinical. They tend to be more in the restorative, and now you see that it's a complete solution. It's what I would call a complete circle, where they're all the way to the clinical. And again, this is this is all from the catalog. I just screenshot exactly where being able to do this, and it provides you with a really great solution. I encourage every single one of you to, at the very least, go into the Zahn website and find it under the materials. This is the long URL, and I apologize for that, but you can certainly click on that. But in reality, once you go into the Zahn, go into the digital workflow, and on the digital materials, there's the DESS Dental Smart Solutions. So you can certainly click on this URL if you get the PDF for this presentation, or you can follow this kind of where you go into the Zahn website, you go into the digital workflow, and then go into digital materials and find the DESS Smart Solutions. Now, when you go into that, you're not only going to find the catalog, the resource, but you're also going to find downloadable files for 3Shape, exocad, and dental wings that you'll be able to import that library and be able to design immediately thereafter, utilizing this great solution. So whether, again, it's once you go into that, you have the opportunity of 3Shape, you can do the hybrid abutment library, which is the greater of the portfolio, or you can do a multi-unit library if you want to use any of the multi-units. Similarly with exocad, and then with dental wings, it's just one. In 3Shape, again, they're separate, so it's two separate DMEs that you would need to click on that. Once you click on it, it literally downloads a DME, you save it onto your desktop, and then when you go into the 3Shape, into the control panel, you import it as a new material file, and it just populates it all for you with all the different branded platforms and all the different type of components and solutions, and accessibility to restore your implant supported restorations really, really well. So with that said, I mean, certainly I encourage every single one of you to explore that, and I hope you download the DMEs and start working with it right away, because you'll see the solutions are truly remarkable in what it could provide you as a designer, you as a laboratory, as well as your dentist clients, and ultimately, as Michael said, to the patient, is a better solution, which is what we're all striving and working towards. So with that said, I hope you found great value in this. It's certainly a solution that I stand behind, because I'm really impressed not only by the folks, both at DESS and at Zahn, that are behind this this initiative and this solution, but it's just really clever and innovative in being engaged with this type of, with the DESS solutions out of Spain. Just the way they think about things and the way they provide answers to some real world challenges in a laboratory is just remarkable. And it's all for the benefit of us and the patient and our clinician, ultimately. Yeah. So with that said, if there are any questions, we would be happy to answer. We do have some time.
Yeah, Daniel, a great job. Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. I really, really appreciate it. I have a question here. It says, if I want to get started with DESS, quick and easiest way to get started with it. Daniel gave great reference points to the catalog and online, but I really encourage you all to reach out. We have a phenomenal telesales team, and we have an incredible key account manager team. These two teams, I have to tell you, are far none the best team in the business, and we will do everything that we can to help you. And really what we want to do is we want to fully understand your laboratory and what's working. I've had tons of calls with laboratories across the country more recently. Thank you to all of them who reached out. You have a way to work DESS into your laboratory, whether it be only on analogs, if you have good working relationships with some of the implant companies. Daniel said it earlier, lab screws. I mean, everybody wants to make sure that we maintain the integrity of the final screw. There's a huge opportunity there. And I really feel that when you analyze your business, particularly in the post-COVID world, really look at where your partnerships lie. Who are you truly working with? Again, I carried a bag for years. I understand that if somebody's working with your lab and they're referring doctors to you and it's a really good working relationship, no problem. We don't want to interfere with that. We really, really don't. But there's so many interfaces and platforms that we could offer you with DESS to, again, streamline your purchasing. There's an added benefit, obviously 30 to 50% less. Of course, there's a cost benefit there. But just from a time savings and knowing that these products are backed and warranted will be an incredible way for you to start. I look forward to speaking with you all. Anybody can reach out to me at any given time, but please reach out to the team, my colleagues across the country, and the telesales teams. I mean, it's just an incredible resource for you. Please take advantage of it.
Thank you. I agree, Michael. Thank you so much. And thank you, Daniel. I do not have any further questions at this time, but do want to also encourage you to visit that Zahn website for DESS. It's an incredible resource, as Daniel was saying. The library files alone are super convenient to get you started. And as Michael said, if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to a Zahn representative and we'll get you the answers you need. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for this quick bite. Please join us next time. Have a great day.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.